Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims escaped the military crackdown in Myanmar. Most of them women and girls, fleeing violence and rape. They hope to find refuge in Bangladesh. Instead, they're living in fear. Trapped in these refugee camps, girls are being exploited and abused. Married off when they're only children. Or trafficked into brothels. I'm Steve Chow. On this episode of 101 East, we investigate the precarious future faced by women who have already lost so much.
In the world's largest refugee camp, surrounded by misery, a moment of joy. These women have escaped mass murder in Myanmar and spent months scrambling for aid in these Bangladeshi camps. But today, they have a reason to celebrate. Their cousin Fatima is getting married. But the young bride is refusing to join in. For hours, she's been hiding in the next room, quiet and withdrawn. Tomorrow she'll be a married woman, living with her new husband and in-laws. She's 15 years old. The marriage was arranged a month ago after the groom's parents came to see Fatima's father. He says he agreed to the match even though she's underage because he'll have one less mouth to feed. Even though child marriage is common amongst Rohingya Muslims, Fatima wanted to wait. In the space of just a few months, Fatima has lost almost everything she cares for, including her home in Myanmar. But in August, soldiers from the Myanmar military came to her village, and suddenly everything changed.
Zulumi garar manchara dori yang garar ever hataria arare gorina vare mada ka goribu bule ta jendela thai tam goittu na takide no gorodi thai tam bule goitta yaru kultu arar fudda gotto farasili tara na jagodi tara gojje ta zulumi goro kormori ge.
The UN has called the violence a textbook example of ethnic cleansing, an allegation the Myanmar government rejects. But Fatima says many of her friends and relatives are still missing after more than 50 people were gunned down in her village. Since arriving in Bangladesh, Fatima's only comfort has been her family. But now she's going to lose them too. She has never met her future husband. The only advice her aunt can give her on the eve of her wedding is to be an obedient wife. These are words of little comfort to Fatima. Her life is about to change forever, whether she's ready or not. It's the morning of the wedding and preparations are in full swing. The groom, Rashidullah, is getting ready for the big day. He says he doesn't know a lot about his future wife, but it doesn't bother him that she's underage. But across the camp at Fatima's house, there's chaos.
Fatima has been getting more and more upset the closer we get to the actual ceremony, and now she's just completely broken down.
With just hours to go, her father has had enough. Friends and family have arrived to congratulate the bride and help her get ready. But Fatima is inconsolable. Around her, family members are fighting about who will keep her wedding makeup. Meanwhile, Fatima's sobs are ignored. Finally, it's time for her to go. Fatima is being taken by her future father-in-law to his home for the wedding. He's the one who chose her. He says he and his wife are getting older and they need help around the house.
এখন গোয়া তো রাঁধিবেলা বাড়িবেলা আর সাহায্য মদত করিবেলা আর গোয়া তো মাইয়া হইও নাই বইও নাই তো বাসাইবা তো লড়ালু মগ লড়ালুর মাঝে নিজের বউতি ফুয়ানিতি হড়ো গিয়ে গই ফাটা সারা নিজের বউ লড় না হওয়া ফুয়ান জুসাইতে লড় না হওয়া নিজে একালা তনতাং হাদাইয়া হজি বউ হন জায়গা তনি আর ইন্দিলা করিয়া আইজা হজি ইন্দিলা অশান্তিরা আগিয়ে দিতে তো হিসাবে বউকে যদি আনি হাম হতে গেলে তো আর কানাকার মশা অগরা ঘুরি হারিও সাহায্য করা আর হিয়ান বেশি
As soon as Fatima arrives at the house, the ceremony begins. Fatima's husband is on the other side of the wall, sitting with his relatives. He and Fatima still haven't seen each other. Fatima did not want this marriage, but her father insists it's for her own good.
আজকে কইবার নি সোয়া কথা ইনসান তো দি ইল্লা আজকে নিয়া আল্লাহ আজকে আর আতো কোনালা দিবে আজকে লগিলে ভাই তিন আল্লাহ কা ইয়ার বেজিতি নি
These fears are very real for those living in these sprawling refugee settlements. The camps are a maze that stretch for as far as the eye can see. Almost 1 million people are crammed in here, and it's easy for girls to simply vanish. "17-year-old Jahara did. Jahara's mother says they arrived here last August after their village was burned down by the Myanmar military. Her husband had abandoned them years before. In the camp, they were befriended by a Rohingya woman who had lived here for years. She offered to show Jahara around. But that's not what happened. Jahara says she was tied up and starved for 5 days. Eventually, 2 women took her out of the hut and forced her into a rickshaw. The driver then overheard one of the women talking on the phone. She was arranging to sell Jahara. When the teenager started sobbing and attracting attention, the women panicked. They rushed her back to the house. Luckily, a few minutes later, Jahara's mother returned.
সেন্টার থেকে হাজার ফেড়া আছে সেন্টার থেকে এন হইরা যে আর মারি বলে তারা আঙ্গামা করে তিনজন চারজন আঙ্গামা করে বাদে যে আর এতটুকু বাতি আসি বাতি বা ইয়াত আছে যে বাতি বাজে ইঙ্গুর মাঝি মতো খেবার তলে তুই বেড়া থা দেখি হাসা দেখি হর হাসা দেখি যে আজর ফটো এন হয়ে যায় গুজরে হাঁদি টাঁদি যায় থানে লিয়ে আসি যে বেশি ডর লাগে যে বেশি বেলা বেলা নিয়ে হইতেছে সেদিন যদি নবাইতাম যে নিতে হইতেছে আব্বার।
That was just 10 days ago. Jahara is still in shock.
আর তো বেশি ডর লাগে যে বাজে বাজে আর মাথার দন হয়ে গেছে ডর আজা করতেছে আজ নদন এলিতে।
Did you complain to the police? Were you able to get them to arrest these people?
হনে কিছু নসাইতে যারা তো হনিকা নাই দে যে কিছু নসিনি যে আগা গুজা ন জানি যে জিয়া তাসি আছে হনাড়ি বাজার এনে গরু এনে যে ডর লাগে যে আরাত পুনরে ও আল্লাহ আব্বা যাইলে আব্বা ধরে বেলা বেন হয়ে ডরা যাগো যে।
Jahara was lucky to escape. Many other girls taken by criminal gangs have ended up here in Cox's Bazar. It's a tourist town just a short drive from the camps, and it's known for its thriving sex trade.
I found a sex worker who's willing to talk to me, but she's asked me to come to a very discreet location because she's worried about the police.
I make my way through the back streets of Cox's Bazar to meet two Rohingya girls who are sex workers. I knew their stories would be heartbreaking, but I didn't know that one of them is just 14 years old. To protect her identity, we'll call her Sharifa. She tells me that she arrived in Bangladesh 8 months ago with her mother and siblings after her father was killed in Myanmar. They befriended a Rohingya woman who promised to help find Sharifa work as a maid. She didn't realise the woman was a pimp. Sharifa is too ashamed to say what happened next, but she tells me how it made her feel.
তো মাথা ঘুরাইয়া ঘরত যাবি মার জানিব বলে তো অশান্তি লাগিল হল্লা চাল এলে লাগিল।
Sharifa says she has no option but to continue. She's the only one supporting her family. She has about 7 customers a week. They pay her pimp, who gives her around $3 a customer.
আর হয়তো মাসে যেকা রাখা যাবে মানুষেরা হাঙ্গর দিব মানুষ যেগিন হয় গিন গরিবে এনারা যেকা যাতে হয় যায় আর ঘরত টিয়া নাই কিছু না মা বাবা তুসুক ভাই বোন তুসুক কিতা লারি।
Sharifa shows no emotion as we talk, not even when she describes what happened to her when the Myanmar military came to her village.
তোরা আনারা যেমন ফিসা বাদে যে ল্যান্ডা ফুদা করে সকাল গলা ফেলে তোরা আনারা ফিসা বাদে যে আরা সকালে থাকি তোরা এটারা যখন লাইতা গুঙ্গি হয় বেড়ে করে জুলা দুনিয়ালে ফেলে সুর মারিয়ে রে বন্ধুয়ারা মারে ফেলে আর মন্দি মারে ফেলে আর হাদা হান্দি নির্যাতন করে মারে ফেলে।
Sharifa fled to Bangladesh to escape this horror. Instead, she ran straight into a life of abuse and exploitation. Her family and neighbours still think she works as a maid. She says she can never tell them the truth. More and more Rohingya girls like Sharifa are being forced or tricked into prostitution. Our investigation reveals that the recent influx of refugees from Myanmar has fueled the sex trade in Bangladesh. I wanted to meet the people profiting from this trade. After days of negotiation, we convince a pimp to speak to us.
তারা ওই 60-70 এরকম হয়েছে, তারা কতগুলো এখানে করেছে তাগিদে, আর কতগুলো আরও অন্য লোককে আমাদের মতো কলেজে ঢুকাইতে।
We meet him in a cheap hotel room in Cox's Bazar. He has been working in the sex trade here for 2 years. Most of his customers are Bangladeshi businessmen, tourists and locals.
হ্যাঁ, নতুনগুলোর একটু বেশি পছন্দ হয়, চ্যাংরা গে সুন্দর মানেকে হাঁটো একটু একটু শোন, তো ওরা বেশি পছন্দ করে, ওরা কে পিটপাট একটু।
He won't tell me his name, but he does tell me in chilling detail how he and his friends prey on Rohingya girls from the refugee camps.
আর মা আছে বাবা নাই, আর বাবা আছে মামা নাই, মা নাই, এখানে ওরা নাস্তা পানি খাবো, তারপর বোঝায়, তার বলে তার মা বাবারা মেয়েটাকে আমি এরকম এরকম চাকরি করবো, তুমি এরকম চাকরি করবে, এখানে টাকা পয়সা খাবো, তোমার মা বাবা দিতে পারবা, এরকম বলে এনে ওরা এখানে কে করে।
He says he doesn't force the girls to become prostitutes, but he doesn't tell them what the work is.
তোমার মেয়েটা আমার বন্ধুকে দেয়, তোমার মেয়েটা চাকরি দেবে কারণে, মানে এরকম মহিলার বাসাতে মানে চাকরি করবে, ফ্যামিলির বাসার মধ্যে কোটোর মধ্যে চাকরি করবে, ওরা বাধ্য হয়ে আসে, এইসব কিছু আমরা দূর করে না ওরা।
It's common knowledge that pimps are trafficking girls out of the refugee camps. Bangladeshi security forces have set up checkpoints, but even here, there's no shortage of people trying to profit from them.
পরে যদি কিছু ধরে নিয়ে যায়, টাকা পয়সা দেয়, 500 যখন দিবে, আর কতবার মেয়ে যখন লুকলিয়ে যখন চলে যাবে, ওই জায়গায় পুলিশে যখন ধরে, ওর থেকে টাকা পয়সা নিয়ে নেয়, মেয়ের থেকে না ছেলেটা নিয়ে ছেলেটা তো টাকা নিয়ে নেয়, এরকম টাকা লেগে সাইজে ওরা চলে এসে।
It's been a few days since I last saw Fatima, the teenager who was forced to marry. I've come back to the refugee camp to find out how she is.
Salam alaikum.
Her father has arranged for us to visit.
Are you going to visit your daughter today?
আর দেরি করে তুমি অনে যাইবা না, গেলে যাই।
Okay, okay.
He hasn't seen Fatima since the wedding. She lives just a short walk away. But when we arrive, no one answers.
यहाँ तो किने बयानी था लेके दोबारा गुरा मदाई तो हो सकते थे ना होले आरा किंग ताला हो जो।
Fatima's in-laws knew we were coming, but they've locked the door from the inside. We wait a long time, but it's clear they don't want her to speak to us, so we leave. Her father hopes she's okay.
तारा कोशिश था वो कोशिश करना था तो अल्लाह तारा कोशिश था अल्लाह बोले कोई चीज़ नहीं हमें तो खुदा आशी खुदा साइन है हमारी खुदा खुश लगी दे दिया ना।
Fatima's father has resigned her fate to God. All his daughter can do is hope that he's made the right decision. After being kidnapped, Jahara is also afraid for her life. 14-year-old Sharifa says all she has left is hope. Two-thirds of the Rohingya refugees are women and girls. There are hundreds of thousands of them, each with their own story of survival. But instead of feeling compassion, there are those who see only the opportunity to profit from their suffering.